Easy here, guys and gals. Well, hope you're all well. It is Thursday, and I've been doing my usual morning exercises, be it my readings, my Spanish, and things like that. And getting back into the grind is interesting because um, it's easy and it isn't. You see sometimes what happens when you don't do your things regularly. What I mean by that, I see it, for example, in my Spanish. Uh, the 3 weeks that I was in Canada, I wasn't practicing as much. I wasn't giving it as much time, and immediately you see how quickly you lose because the passive vocabulary, reading and stuff like that, that stays pretty good. But the active vocabulary, which means basically trying to talk and thinking like when I'm here, I'm going along and I'm thinking about words, and immediately I think like, well, what is that in Spanish? And I pull out my phone and so on, and I probably pull out my phone like I was going to say 1,000 times a day just to check things like that. And I wasn't doing it over there as much, and I'm realizing like little simple words all of a sudden are gone. And it got me thinking, that's a little bit like people are saying that when you get retired or you come to a certain age, if you don't actively work on your skills that you had, your memory and so on, that you will start losing little bits. And I guess that's probably true in a way because I mean, if you think about it, you've got to exercise that brain probably in the same way that we do not exercise our muscles well enough when we get up to a certain age. I mean, I try to walk and everything, but I'll see, for example, I'm way less supple than I used to be, and it's my own fault. I could be doing other types of exercises and help that, and I mean, I'll certainly pay for it later on in life. Later on, how much later on is there? That is a big thing actually that's going on over here and in the whole world. And going into that topic now is that they were talking on the news here about the planifications, for 2050. Seems a ways away, but it's only 25 years. Because, the numbers are there. I mean, in 2050, there's going to be a lot of us, well, if I'm still there, because actually I'll be in my 90s if I make it that far. But there'll be a lot of people in their late 80s, and as we know, what was that? Oh, it's telling me time to stand. In the late 80s, in your late 80s, that is what we used to call old age. It sounds strange, doesn't it? People used to go to the golden age clubs, as they used to call it, when you were in your late 50s and early 60s and stuff like that. And nobody wants to call the 60s the golden age anymore. I mean, wait a minute. I am going to be 68 this year, and I just cannot. I'm probably having the same thing that everybody else has had when they've aged. Is that I just can't seem to realize that when I was in my teens, somebody who was in their late 60s was old, and to get into my head, that I am now that old person that I was thinking about is something that I just can't quite fathom. And yet it's true. It's true. Sorry, I'm just looking over there. There's a cement mixer on the other road. Somebody's building a block. Yeah. Well, I'll change the topic once again because it's partly it is related. Where they're building a block, there used to be a house. It was the family house. We spoke to one of the daughters. It's because now the children are building a block on where used to be the family house. And when I heard that, it kind of ripped me a little bit, and you know, I thought like, oh, broke my heart away in a way, because I was thinking, you know, like this is what people are trying to do all over now. I'm getting offers, several offers a month. People would like to buy the house, but not to come and live in it, to tear it down. To tear it down and to build an apartment building on the grounds of the house. Well, this is, I'm not going to make, you can't really see it. This is what's happening over there. The parents passed away, and the children, I guess, couldn't agree on what to do with the family house. I guess nobody wanted to go and live in it. They didn't want to make any repairs on it. So I guess you might be able to see it far off over there. So they decided, they tore it down, and they're going to be building three or four, I think it was 3 condominiums. So basically an apartment building, and it'll be something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of find that sad, because you know it's the inheritance. Yeah, they're doing what they want with their inheritance. It's not my business. But it was a nice chalet style, which is very rare over here in Switzerland. For years, you were not allowed in the plain or to build wooden houses. Woods, the trees and wood, the material as such, was rarer and was in the mountains. All the cottages, all the houses in the mountains were built from wood. Oops, logger's itch. But in the city, it was stone, brick, mortar, like our house. And there were a few exceptions. I don't know. I haven't been living here long enough, and nobody actually explained to me why. But every now and then there was an exception. And they were quite nice. I mean, because it was kind of like a breath of mountain air in the city. So here and there in the city, you'll see what we call the chalet styles, which are basically wooden houses. And for whatever reason, I guess it's probably maintenance and so on, but for whatever reason, most of the houses around here, the chalet ones, have been bought and destroyed because they're not protected, you know, in the sense of the historic protection, stuff like that. So I know of at least 5 or 6 in town that have been torn down, and you know, but now buildings have been built there, but always apartment buildings. And I find it's really sad because it's part of history that's being destroyed in a way. Yeah. So boy, this vlog has gone everywhere, hasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's it for today, I guess. Today is Thursday, so it's shopping day. Yeah, that's kind of like again, it's kind of an old people thing. Every day is something for something, you know, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, that'll be it. Have I managed to get my, yes, it said you did it. You've earned an hour towards your stand goal. Now my watch is telling me what to do. Okay, well, that's it. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and have a good Thursday.